up, everybody? It's your favorite imagination's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the imagined version of what Megatron would have been like in the Bumblebee universe, the Megatank. This is all known to me from Robert D. There was a couple people that reached out and asked if I was interested in taking a look at this, and the answer was yes, but I knew that Robert was getting this guy as well. He's actually working on some display stuff that I'm excited to show you guys eventually. Looks like he's got a plan finally, which I'd love to see it. But anyway, enough about Robert and his plans. This is about this Megatron. And real quick, you guys know why I do this, right? Like why I start all the reviews with them just looking straight on. It's to try to show you what it's like with no fluff, right? Without any dramatic lighting, without any extreme poses, without any sauce. It's to try to give you an idea of what to expect kind of right out of the box. I'm not sure if I say that enough, but that's why I do it. Anyway, let's start with accessories. He comes with 2 extra heads. One has a little bit more of an expression. I'm not sure, like, this face sculpt, it's a little busy. We'll talk about that here in a bit. But also, I feel like the eyes are maybe too big proportionately to the rest of the face. It makes it look a little cheesier and a little less menacing. Personal opinion is subjective, of course. This one, they went with the face shield idea. I mean, it's on brand, you know what I mean? But it's also dumb. You also, of course, get his fusion cannon. This has this bit here that flips out. This flips out. We'll talk about a number of these things as I move. This rotates. There's also some dry brushing that goes on throughout, and some silver, a couple little silver and copper accents as well. To attach it to his arm, fold in this piece, fold out this piece, and then there's a keyhole right there, so to speak, that will accept it. He comes with a sword! We have some purple and gold accents on there, as well as it's fully, it's fully painted, honestly. The silver and black is painted, and then has a black wash on top. And you have 2 hand guards here, just because nothing exceeds like excess, really. And that will tab in his hand the traditional manner with a tab into the palm. And lastly, you get a bunch of screw covers, which are nice to have. It's a thoughtful little add-on, I think. Gimmicks-wise, there are some light-up features. There's lights in his eyes, but I can't figure out for the life of me how to access it. Like, you can pop the head off this ball peg there, but then everything feels a little stuck in, and I haven't had the best luck this year with figures and breaking them, so we're not going to do it. And I'm not even sure the batteries are in it. There are batteries, however, in the gun. There's a button right here. You can press it, and it's a very faint light, but it's a gimmick and it's there. Okay, let's take a look at the figure, and we'll start with the head sculpt. So I have mixed feelings about it. On one hand, I feel like it does fit into the universe. Like, I feel like it's kind of appropriate. However, I do feel like it's maybe a little too busy, where it starts to look a tad messy. The head is on a ball peg that sits way up inside the head and is kind of hollow around, which is nice in this instance because it gives you a good bit of articulation even with the helmet. So you get up to there, down a little bit, swivel, confused Megatron work, all of that looks okay. All of the silver on here is painted, and then it's shaded with an airbrush. It's beautiful. No doubt about it. It is beautiful. Moving on to the abdomen, we have all the silver and gold accents along with this metallic red. Once again, fantastic. Waist swivel, no problem there. Ab crunch, no problem there. And it's ratcheted as well, which is nice. We have the shoulders. They're universals. They ratchet around. You have this panel here that lifts up, ratchets out. All of this silver is decorated the same way we've already talked about, and we have some copper accents there on the bicep. Speaking of the bicep, you do get a bicep swivel. You also get a single hinged elbow that gets you 90 degrees. Tons of sculpted detail, tons of paint. There's washes on a lot of the silver. Like, let me try to explain it. Like the base silver, right? The chest, shoulders, head, thighs, that all gets the airbrush treatment. A lot of the minute silver detailings gets a lot of washes, and then we'll look at some of the other parts on the body that get a lot of dry brushes. Actually, we can show that here just shortly as we move to the hand. The hand is like a black plastic with a heavy silver dry brush, but it looks good. We have a wrist swivel, as well as a hinge in out. The fingers are individually articulated on a base pin knuckle and then a secondary and tertiary knuckle. The thumb is on a base ball peg with a secondary and tertiary knuckle. So that's well done. Some metallic red accents on the wrist as well as some copper there on top. Same for the other side, copper top, you know what I'm saying? All right, So for the hips, we have actual drop downs if you want to utilize them. That'll get you ratcheted for the full Monty. And I'm trying to be careful here because the ratchets joints on the hips do feel like not necessarily the most sturdy, even though what they're connected to feels like die cast. You get the full Van Damme as well on ratchets. You have a thigh swivel. It's slight, but it's more than enough for one, and for two, if you need more, the knee swivels as well. So you get it there. Silver on the thigh is the same as the chest and shoulders and such, and then the detailings are the same as the detailings up above. All right, we have single hinge knee that gets you 90 degrees here, ratcheted, and then your double hinge that sits up here, ratcheted also to get you the full run. For the bottom, we have the black. The black gets the silver dry brush, and then we have some silver accents and some washes throughout and a couple little accents of copper. We have the ankles. You don't really get an ankle tilt up or down. You do get a toe tilt down, so no toe tilt up, and then you get a rocker. So, I mean, it's pretty much everything you'd want, and there it is from the back, clean as a whistle. Size comparison wise, there it is next to Magic Square Prime, because I don't really have anything appropriate necessarily to compare it to. I will give you a quick measurement. It's approximately 13 5/8 to the top of his head, so hopefully that'll give you some sort of an idea of the size you'll be dealing with. To be fair, it'll probably look good in a Detolf. For all you Detolf lovers out there, it'll probably work just fine. All right, let's get him transformed. So rotate the barrel down and then extend this whole section up. It's on like a double hinge, basically. This backpack piece needs to like basically shift down to the bottom left, and it's a little confusing, but you'll hear it pop in when it reaches its proper place, and then just open this up. You gotta pop this chest loose, and it's a little tricky. And then pull it down, rotate the shoulders back, rotate the collar basically up and over, and then this piece is on a double hinge that will come up and back. Use your ab crunch, bend this whole section over, and once you've got it pretty much at 90 degrees, you want to rotate the whole top section around so that you're looking like that from the back. Now we're going to do a little prep work. I can untab this, flip this whole piece in, and tab it back in. And we'll flip this whole section up here. Then we'll prep the shoulders so they spin here at this joint. Not at the universal. They come up like this. You then bring the shoulder pad down and then spin it, and I believe you want it like at like a 45-degree angle. We can sort that out later, honestly. Spin it at the joint, bring this down, spin it at like a 45-degree angle off from the front of it, not from the back. Take your arms, fold them towards the center. As you do so, rotate the bicep so that the tabby parts are going to meet. On this side of the arms, there's these little panels here. They're spring-loaded. If you push them in, you should be able Here goes nothing, Robert. But you should be able, there's one, to collapse the arm down. Alright, come on, girl. Do it like we talked about. There. Down. Oh, did a piece fall off? I don't see it anywhere. But there should be a piece there. That should fold down, and then they tab together. And then this piece comes and sits over top of them, so that it all sits relatively like that. And then you have these two connector ports here that you can go ahead and flip out as well. We're going to take our chest piece here, and there's this little piece underneath here that we're going to try to flip out. I might need a little tool. There we go. Just to get it started. Flip that out. And we're going to open up this connection piece on the crotch. Pull down, pull out, realign on the outside, almost like an old school combiner. Same for the other side. And then you can put that piece down. Then this section drops down, and this piece that we just pulled out folds underneath and connects back in to the drop down hips, and then this sits down over top. So open up this thigh piece and then spin the whole thigh piece around and plug it back into the underside. Then you want to rotate at the knee. Take these pieces, slide them up, and then, oh, come on. Move them out, and then you have to do the same to the other side as well, and that way you can reach out, grab this whole section, and then spin it 180. Then you have this piece that has to come up and sort of align itself with the treads. There's one on each side. And then you just have to seat this thing, and in order to do so, you got to pull these treads out. See, like, this piece doesn't want to, like, there. That's where you want it, so that, like, the notch there hits the groove, so to speak. Same on this side. Take the toe, fold it up and around, and make sure that see, that's not right. There. And then take this piece, bring it back, and tab it in. And on the other side, you want to leave it out. And then spin this around. And there's like a big keyhole there for the key. Tab it in. So we're going to do the same on the other side. We're going to try to do it in one take. Take this thigh piece, untab it, swing it around to the bottom, tab it back in, and spin 180 at the knee. Take your little lock pieces here, slide them up, try to work them out, and then spin them towards the front or the back of the tank, whatever you want to say there. Perception, right? All right, both sides. And that should allow you to lift this whole section up and out. Spin 180. And there's these pieces that have to come out and up. There's one on this side as well. Extend your track. Go to sit all this back in. If you do it right, it'll line up. I actually did it right that time. And then the tread, which gives me hell. I wonder, it's just like it's a pain because of these other pieces. But I wonder if I try to get that in first, if that makes any kind of a difference. Not really for me. Anyway, I'll fix this. Bring this up, slide it down, tab it back in, rotate And I'll bring this up a little bit. At the hip, we're going to tab this in to a pretty large keyhole. And then we're going to bring the foot down and around. Up there. Now we're going to bring in our cannon. We're going to move this piece out to the side, and that kind of falls into a little groove. This, we're going to spin 180, and then this, we need to transform a little bit. So I need to stay oriented. This piece is going to go in there. Obviously that doesn't fit. It needs to come around to the side. This rotates, so depending on where yours is, you just need to rotate it accordingly so that it comes around to the appropriate side. And I use this as my guide. And let's see, do I need to do anything else? No, it's like this. Pretty sure. And then you put that in there, and that covers Megatron's face. This comes down, and then this barrel comes over. I'll clean it up. We'll take a look at it. And there it is, and I actually think it's pretty effective and intimidating. The transformation's a little bit clumsy. It's where they show their lack of professionalism and knowledge and skill. I think this one makes up for it. I don't know, like, I don't know if this company has made any other things. I don't know if they're related to that Shockwave at all. There's some things that seem similar about it, but this seems like they actually had a vision and a mission. If they are the same, even if they aren't, it seems like this company had a vision and a mission, whereas the other one kind of just threw paint at the wall to see what would look good, like a, I don't want to disrespect any artists out there, but like perhaps some sort of abstract expressionist. Anyway, here we are, and I think the color comes through nicely. I'm sure it does roll well enough, you know, and I think that is kind of intimidating. The three barrels, I kind of view that as a barrel. You know, and you can get this thing a lot tighter, I'm sure, but you know, for our purposes here, I think that that's more than enough. It kind of looks, you know, it looks like this mechanical, like it looks like it would work, like in that world, like or like in any sci-fi world. It looks like a tank that would work. It almost looks like something that would be out of Terminator 2 or something. Like I actually dig the aesthetic of it quite a fair bit. It's not super solid, but like I said, that's because it doesn't seem like they're quite that efficient with transformations yet. Like even this thigh, like I have a hard time getting this thigh to be 100% straight on the leg and stuff like that. Just stuff that should be a little bit smoother in my opinion. There it is next to Omnigonics, which is not what I wanted to show you. What I wanted to show you is him next to Tiger Tracks. Final thoughts wise, of course, we'll start with the negatives, and I would say that the biggest negative is the engineering, just in terms of transformation, not in terms of action figure. It just seems like it's not fluent. Like, it just seems like they're like, look, we figured how to do something a little bit interesting here. We figured out how to do something a little interesting here. And if we kind of just squish these things together, I think it'll pass. And I'm not mad at it because I think in the end it's actually fairly successful. But we're talking about something for a negative, and I think that that is one. There's some sculpt things about the face that I'm not crazy about, specifically the eyes. I feel like the eyes are too big. I know that may seem like a nitpick thing to a lot of people, but for me, it's kind of a significant issue where it makes the face look bad, and not even bad, just kind of, once again, not unlike another video that we've either looked at recently or we're going to look at soon. It makes the face look young, and not young like a young man, but young like a boy. So that's an issue for me as well. Plus the fact that it's light up eyes with no metallic paint over top makes the bot look dead when the lights aren't on. It's like Robert Palmer said in many ways, the lights are on, but no one's home. No one's home. But honestly, that's about all I got. I could nitpick also about some joint tolerances. Some are a little tight, like in the fingers and stuff. Some of this, like the shoulder pad, rotating that is a little too tight and gives you like kind of some willy-nillys while you're moving it around. Like, for those keeping track, willy-nillys would be the opposite of warm and fuzzies. You know, it just seems like you could break it. It doesn't seem like it's really well designed in that respect. Positives wise though, I have a lot to say. The accessories are appropriate and integrate well. I think the tank mode looks awesome. I think the robot mode, with the exception of the eyes, looks awesome. It's painted to the nines. There's dry brushing, washes, airbrushing, finishes, accents, just everything you would possibly want. It has gimmicks. The articulation works across the board, and it transforms. This, to me, seems like what the Shockwave was trying to be. This just seems like a more successful representation of it. So it's a recommend for me. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.